Hey guys, long time no see. At least long time no see in a health update video. Wow. Like, it's been months. Like, at one point I had committed to doing monthly health updates, and then I went away and I came back and I said I was going to do a health update, and then I was going to wait until I did my binge eating episode of the eating disorder series, and I didn't upload yesterday. I missed an upload day. So I was like, what can I do quickly that I can record very quickly? And the answer is a health update. So if you've never been to one of these health updates, I generally go kind of disorder by disorder and kind of go over what's going on with my health. So first is mental health, and the answer is my mental health. Well, actually, if you saw my last video, you'll know that my mental health hasn't been great since the last one. I did end up going inpatient for mental health due to my eating disorder, and that was the first time I had been inpatient. Well, I did go inpatient when I got laid off, like a little while before I got laid off, and so this was not the last time, but it had been a while since I had been inpatient. Everything is good now. I literally just went inpatient because I couldn't stop binging. So I'm no longer binging. I guess that'll be the next thing, is my binging. That doesn't really happen anymore. Has happened one time since I've been home, and that's it. And I've been home for about 3 weeks. It happened one time because of some work stuff that I really don't want to talk about. I'll talk about it when it's time, or I may not ever talk about it. Sorry guys, it's just, there was some work stuff that happened that made me pretty depressed, and I did it without thinking, and then I stopped myself. So I was very proud of myself. My joints. So when I was in Chicago, I did a lot of walking the entire time. I took my AFOs with me. I did not take regular size shoes. I only took my AFOs and the shoes that go with my AFOs. And that seemed to work pretty well. There was still pain. I had a couple of bad pain days. I had one day where I almost didn't go to treatment because I was in so much pain. But, you know, I am starting to deal with other joint pain just because, you know, it's summer now, and summer is when I have the worst joint pain. And I think that's just because the humidity and stuff gets to me. I feel like my joints are like way more hypermobile than in the wintertime. My hands have been hurting. My knee was hurting a lot today. My shoulder hurts a little bit, but it's kind of just been touch and go, come and go pain. Not really anything enduring, except for, like I said, my hands. I am wearing my hand braces whenever I am working, whenever I'm driving, whenever I'm using my walker, anytime I'm doing something really hand intensive. And I'm going to try to stop doing Rubik's Cubes. I mean, they are the way that I've been avoiding engaging in eating disorder behavior, so we'll see how that goes. The next area to talk about is my stomach. For some reason, and I don't know if I need to talk to my endocrinologist about this, I will be talking to her about this, actually. For some reason, when my blood sugar is high, I don't feel nauseous, but whenever I have normal blood sugars, I feel extremely nauseous, and when I'm low, I can't eat. Like, I have to force, like today I had like a 107, and I had to force myself to eat something, because I was like, Leia, if you don't eat, it's just going to continue to get lower, and, you know, I don't want to be in an emergency. I haven't had any low blood sugars yet, and I don't want to start now. I mean, again, I'll talk about, man, this is not the diabetes section, but my stomach sickness has kind of started to come back. We still think it's gastroparesis now. For a little while, for about a month and a half, I was on Reglan, and I kind of took it sporadically. Sometimes I remembered, sometimes I forgot. But one of the things that happened is that I have a medication that interacts with Reglan, and in the medical world, they call it a black box interaction, and that means that there's very, very serious, please don't do this, complications of having Reglan with my other medication. And my other medication is not a medication that we can stop. We could theoretically try something else, but I personally am not comfortable with that. My doctors are not comfortable with that. So we decided against doing the Reglan, which is frustrating because, you know, when I took Reglan, it was the first time that I, like, felt true hunger, like, before a meal. Because Reglan makes me extremely hungry. Can't always eat that much, but it does make me hungry. And it was making it to where I was processing food correctly with my stomach. Like, it was going really well, but not only does Reglan have a black box interaction, you know, at first I was on the lowest dose of Reglan and the lowest dose of my other medication, and that was scary, but okay. Well, I've since titrated up on the other medication. I'm at a double dose. So I was at 5, now I'm at 10. And I don't feel comfortable with the side effects anymore. I don't feel comfortable with the idea that I could be getting this really, really dangerous interaction between Reglan and the other medication. So I told my doctor today that I'm not going to take the Reglan, that I stopped it because of it going up. And my doctors all thought that was probably the right decision to not take it anymore. And so I don't know what we're going to do. There was a discussion at one point of me getting a gastric stimulator. I'm going to be going to a new GI in Kansas City. I don't know if that's going to change the plan of getting a gastric stimulator. I think that if I do get a gastric stimulator, they start with one that's, like, placed in your nose like a feeding tube and goes down to your stomach and stimulates your stomach muscles that way. And that's kind of all I know for the time being. Yeah, I am back to drinking Ensures. I think that overall they make a positive difference in my health. I think that when I am drinking Ensures and not binging is when my body seems to do the best. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing 2 meals a day, 2 meals a day that are on the smaller side, and then also 3 Ensures a day. And the 3 Ensures kind of make it up to where they're about the same calories as what 1 meal should be for me. So that's what I'm doing, and it seems to be going well. Now with the diabetes. Diabetes is the one that is the hardest to talk about. So I guess let's start with this. I do have my CGM again. I didn't have it the entire time I was in Chicago because I didn't think I would have the money for it. I probably would have had the money for it, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, I have my CGM, and it's not been good. My doctor was quite alarmed because in the last week, I've had it on for about a week, and in the last week, I am at 59% over 250, and only about 13% in the correct range, which means that something needs to change. If you don't know, when I was diagnosed with diabetes, way back, 1.5 years, almost 2 years ago now, I started with a very severe hyperglycemic episode, where my blood sugar was up to around 500. I think it was in the low 500s. And then I went on metformin, which didn't bring it down fast enough, so I went on long-acting insulin, which did eventually bring it down. This was also when I was dealing with severe gallbladder symptoms, and so I wasn't eating a lot. And so between the metformin and a relatively high dose of Basaglar, which is background insulin, it was brought down. However, it was suggested by, I don't remember if it was by my GI or by my endocrinologist, that the metformin could be making my stomach problems worse, which was confirmed with some trial and error. And then I kind of just didn't want to take it anymore, so we switched me from metformin to glipizide, which is a sulfonylurea, which basically it tells your pancreas to release insulin. I only take it once a day. I take it in the morning, and you can really tell in my sugars because my sugars around noon are the lowest that they are for the day, and then my sugars overnight are like the highest they are for the day. So yeah, I'm taking background insulin, and I'm taking the insulin pill. I'm going to be seeing my endocrinologist very soon, like a week from when I'm recording this video. I'm seeing my endocrinologist, and I am unfortunately probably going to be going on mealtime insulin just because it's not safe for my blood sugar to be this high for this long. Now, this is a short period of time. You know, nerve damage happens over the course of months or years, but we don't want to play any games with my blood sugar. So I'm probably going to be going on mealtime injections, probably in the evening. Maybe titrating up my insulin, but I'm not entirely sure. We're going to see. Maybe going back on metformin. I have mixed feelings about going back on metformin. Like, on the one hand, the metformin and the once-a-day insulin controlled my diabetes really well, and I want to get back to having my diabetes really well controlled. But, on the other hand, the metformin made me incredibly sick. I would wake up dry heaving almost every single morning. I had to take nausea medicine to be able to take the rest of my medicines, and especially, you know, when I was taking Zofran, I would basically have to let it sit there on my tongue for 10 minutes or whatever, and it was the same when I was on Compazine, that I would have to take nausea, because the nausea meds are tiny, they're teeny tiny, and I take some pretty big pills, so I would have to take nausea medicine in order to get the rest of my medicine down, which I don't want to do. But I have to do what's best for my diabetes, and like with the stomach problems, we have an end in sight, like we have a solution in sight. The other thing that I want to talk to my diabetes doctor about, I think I may have already said this, is whether or not my high blood sugar could be the cause of me not having nausea. Because, like I said, whenever my blood sugars are in the normal range, I have nausea, and the lower they go, the worse my nausea is, to the point where, like, if I get down to, like, the low blood sugar range, I have to have these candies, even though I have been high, I still keep them on me, just in case, because, you know, I know that I can't eat when I have low blood sugar. I know that I struggle. So I have those, and I have my boosts right here, so that if I do have something, I can very quickly treat it. Especially because I at least before, when I was on metformin and stuff, I was lowest in the morning, especially if I didn't eat in the morning. So, yeah. Let's see what else. I haven't been using my wheelchair just because I gained weight and now I exceed the weight limit. I'm not so nervous about exceeding the weight limit on my walker because I'm not, like, putting a lot of pressure on my walker. I very rarely sit on it. I literally just push it and it helps me be more balanced. But with the wheelchair, I don't want to take any chances of it breaking or anything like that, so I haven't been using my wheelchair. Even though I gained weight, it hasn't redistributed to my legs, so my knee braces still don't fit, which is really, really annoying to me that I'm the same weight I was when I got my knee braces, but now they don't fit because I haven't redistributed. That's really annoying to me. And the other thing is that soon I'm going to be moving. I'm going to be moving in about 3 months. And so I am going to be looking for a whole new team of doctors, which is really, really not something that I want to do, but the move is going to be very good for me. So I'm going to be looking for a new GI, a new psych doctor, a new therapist, knew everything. I don't know if I'm going to be looking for a new rheumatologist or not, especially after the bad implications, the bad stuff that happened with my current rheumatologist and how much I don't like her. I mean, I know that not all rheumatologists are that way. It's just she was very rude, and I don't know who it needs to be that would manage my HSD, and that's really what I'm looking for, as a doctor to manage my HSD. And if it's a rheumatologist, great. If it's a physiatrist, great. If it's a physical medicine doctor, good. I don't really care who it is. I just need someone to be like, this is my doctor that does my HSD. This is my doctor that does my gastroparesis. This is my doctor that does my diabetes. This is my doctor that does my liver stuff. I just need a doctor that can be my HSD doctor, and I don't really have one here, so I'm going to be looking for one in Kansas when I move back to Kansas. So, alright guys, that's all I had. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm sorry this video was late, and take care, everybody.